It's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Cinderella phenomenon, and we are at the end of Rumble's route slash Chevalier Rumble Chevalier's route. We literally just hit chapter 10, which is our good ending. We'll do this, and then we'll go back through, skip through everything, and just choose the opposite answers, to get the bad ending, and then it'll be it. And it's funny because I was thinking that each one took 5 parts, but I actually was estimating that it would take 6 parts, so I guess I just wasn't, yeah. So, yeah, we're right on schedule. So there you go. I was like, I don't know, they usually only take like 5 parts, but no, this one takes about 6 I can't honestly remember what Karma's took, because obviously I recorded that several weeks before I started this one, but I keep in my little notebook where when I write down what everything's posting on what days, and I kind of like just do a little underline so that I know, so I can estimate ahead, like, okay, we've got about, based on what we do. Like, okay, the first part took 20 parts, but each one when we go through only takes about 10, so then I estimate each one's going to take like 10. It might take one over, but I at least get a rough estimate of like expected, like, okay, I know this is going to take like 5 parts, 6 parts, and these ones are actually taking 6, so I was estimating that this was going to take 6 parts, and we're on 6 parts, so there you go. Woo! I just didn't realize that in the last one where I was like, I know, this is the 5th part, and that should be the end. Nope, never mind. It was never going to be the end. I didn't even estimate it originally, but I think it's because Seven Scarlet's only like 5 parts usually. I don't know. Anyway. Chevalier, don't listen to him! Just look at all of those men you cannot save. All of these men dying before your eyes. Chevalier, we have to get away from here. How many people have you really saved? In the grand scheme of things, you have no talent. And that's why you sought help from a witch. Mithros's voice is oddly calm, and I can feel some sort of presence in the air that's different from normal. A knight plunges a sword through another's gut, causing him to lose his sword. The sword skitters across the floor, gleaming underneath the moonlight. I look desperately at Chevalier and realize that the magic is already working its way into him. He doesn't see anyone except for Mithros, who is still smiling at him from behind all of the knights. I glance at the sword, remembering what Chevalier taught me. Mithros is unguarded right now, but I have better judgment than that, and I told Chevalier that I was going to steer clear of the burden of taking someone's life. I have a promise to keep. Bitch, no, kill him. I gaze up at Chevalier and realize that this was how he looked every time he regained a memory, like he was stuck in his own mind. There's only one thing I can think of to get him out of his trance. I clench my hand into a fist, and I punch Chevalier in the face. It's beautiful. Ow! God's my face! Impossible. Chevalier's eyes clear, and when he looks at me, I can tell he's distraught, but his eyes are seeing the present. Sorry, I thought I lost you. I suppose I needed that, didn't I? Chevalier smiles sheepishly. It's fleeting and gone by the time we both turn to Mithros again. Chevalier looks straight past the still fighting knights. If this bothers Chevalier, which it must, he hides it beneath a neutral expression. How did you break my spell? You cannot even use any magic. She didn't break it with magic. She broke it with the power of love. Fist to your face. I stare at him skeptically. We both know that's not true, and I know Chevalier well enough to know that he doesn't mean that. But Mithros looks furious. Love! Huh! As if some fairy tale love could save you from this predicament. Princess, you're a witch. We feed off negativity, off of chaos and loathing. Love serves us no power. Life is about balance. Spacey taught me that. And though I might not be able to uphold a balance of negatives and positives myself, I'm at least going to try. You could try to do the same. Maybe look beyond your depressing life and start reaching for something that gives you happiness. Something that won't plummet you back into the same darkness. Mithros snaps his fingers, and the knights all freeze. They then turn to us, swords raised. I don't need to be lectured by some lovesick fool. You're just jealous because nobody loves you. By all means, cling to your love. I'll show you how fragile it is. Witches do not need love. Mithros holds out his hands, and the knights begin their steady, deadly march towards us. Chevalier takes my hand and pulls me back. But I see my opening in the narrative. Mithros enjoys inflicting pain with his words, and I can do the same. If you don't need love, if you don't need affection, then why are you doing all of this for Mother? I'm not. You're doing it to be recognized. Why? Every student wants to impress their teacher. His words are calm, but there's a desperation in them. So he was taught by Mother, that means so is Waltz. Interesting. I wonder if she cursed him. My mother was Mithros' teacher? I thought he was just reviving her as another witch, but... Do you know Mithros? It was a long time ago. We both shared the same teacher. Teacher? Wait. Waltz, are you a witch? Yeah. Waltz was Mother's student? No, I can't think about that now. But I can use this to my advantage. I don't remember Mother's students in the least, but one of them turned out right. The other did not, and I can see the bitterness in you. It's the same bitterness I held, only yours goes deeper. You will not sway me with your foolish words. The knights begin to rush us. Their run is more of a pathetic shuffle given the harmed state that they're in, but this doesn't slow them down. You right there, buddy? We're going to run. But, trust me, Princess, I will protect you no matter what happens. He grabs my hand, and we wait. I can see Chevalier's eyes darting around as he searches for an opening. I can feel the pulse of his quickened heartbeat through his hand, and I know he's panicking. Uh-oh. Suddenly, there's a massive luminescent gold wall in front of us. The knights stumble right into it, their swords hitting the bright barrier. Well, someone's on our side. Are you two okay? Parfait rushes to stand in front of us. Mithros' expression is a cold, angry glare. He measures the situation with critical eyes, and then he turns away and begins to dart down the hall. Ugh. Parfait collapses to one knee, arms still outstretched to maintain the barrier. Delore appears. She's flustered and bleeding on one arm, but she still stands straight. Delore holds up her hand and summons fire. Put down the shield, Parfait. I have this. Parfait releases the shield, and the magic projectiles shoot out at the knights. The two edge the knights back through the hallway, but I can see Parfait growing weaker and weaker by the moment. Parfait takes a deep, shuddering breath as she tries to stand. When she falls yet again, Chevalier takes a step forward and looks at her urgently. Lady Parfait! I'm fine. Don't fuss. Her breathing is labored, but she still manages a smile. I fought in the Great War. This is nothing. She looks at me and Chevalier. You two need to leave. But you're... Fine. I just need to gather my energy. A spell from Dolores sends the knights sprawling to the ground after she creates a heavy downpour of rain that quickly turns into ice. You two keep going. The entrance is clear. I notice the witches that have been standing behind Mithros approach us now. Dolores stands at the ready. I can tell that she's hiding a great amount of stress behind her smirk. Parfait slowly gets to her feet. We fight together, Delora. There's no one I'd rather have fighting by my side. Fate. Faye. Fate. I can remember. I'm like, Parfait. Faye. Parfait. Faye. I'm like, Fate. Oh my god. I'm like, I couldn't remember her name for a second because she'd give her a nickname, and I was like, wait, what? What? Parfait. Okay. Yeah. Why? I'm not smart today. Anyway. Faye. Laura. D. D and Faye. D. Faye. Come on, princess. While we still have an opening. We head around the side. Parfait erects a shield to protect us from any magic that comes our way, and Dolores summons a whirlwind as a distraction. Ow! My foot is grazed by fire magic, causing me to stumble, but I force myself into a limping sprint regardless. This is nothing. At the entrance, I pause in the middle of the room. The main entrance hall is eerily silent. And then I see Mithros edging his way into the king's throne room. He's holding tight to Emmeline. He notices me watching and smiles. Then he disappears into the throne room. We have to follow him. Princess. He has Emmeline. Chevalier's posture and expression are indecisive, but mine are not. I know Mithros is baiting me, but I can't leave her alone. My gaze moves around the hallway as I search for other knights. The place is empty, but it's not long before we hear footsteps. I tense at the sound, and Chevalier holds tightly to my hand. Then suddenly, as the figure draws nearer, I recognize him, even if he seems a completely different, older person. Ah! Ah! Waltz! We get to see adult Waltz! Hello, handsome. Isn't he pretty? You're like, wow. Hi. What's up? Just gonna board his pirate ship. That sounded perverted, and I literally actually meant pirate ship because, he's the Neverland Curse. So, like, Captain Hook has a pirate ship, and I wasn't trying to be perverted, but it came out sounding that way, and, like, Lord now. Good Lord. Anyway. I finally found you. Look at him. You're like, Waltz. We're all like, Waltz. He's like, Waltz. I'm just gonna leave it like that. You broke your curse. But how? Chevalier stares at him in awe. I now dub you Waltz the Big. There was never a Waltz the Small. Waltz shakes his head. And I broke my curse unexpectedly. I actually found the item I needed while I was searching around. But I can explain more later. Oh my god, I wonder if it's that item in our room. Our mother cursed him. And that don't ever unlock that box. And if we unlocked that box, it would have just magically, like, fixed him. What do you want to bet? Oh my god. But I can explain more later. For now, we have to go after Mithros. Do you know where he is? He's in the throne room. Yay, Walt has magic now and he can help save us. Oh, hold on just a second. When my mom and I were walking around Tarpon Springs, I think it was when we were in Tarpon Springs. Oh no, it was downtown Dunedin when we were in Florida. And we were walking around and we saw a paint your own pottery place, and it just reminded us as when we went to San Francisco when I was in high school, and we went to a paint your own pottery place. It was the only time we'd ever done it. And I was like, wait, whatever happened to, like, I made like a goblet, I remember. And so we were talking about it. And I was like, I don't know, it must be in my stuff, because Mom's like, I don't think I have it. And she just found it, so she texted me that she found it, so it was pretty cool. We didn't do it this time because we didn't know it was there. There's so much other cooler stuff, but, like, unfortunately I, like, had to work half the time I was at her house, but meh. Hold on, so she just texted me back. You have to text your mom when your mom texts you. Reply back to your mom when your mom fucking texts you, okay? Anyway. He's in the throne room. Mithros stands in the middle of the empty throne room, holding Emmeline to him. He has his hands around her neck. No sudden moves, you three, or this girl dies. And I do know how much death bothers you. With a start, I realize he's talking to Waltz. All three of us are frozen. Myth. Traitor. Why can't you see that Hildir wasn't trying to teach us? She was trying to corrupt us. He's so pretty. Oh my god. We don't get to go down his path till last, but, like, Jesus. Silence, traitor. You betrayed her. During the war, you betrayed your own teacher. Betrayed? Hildir was corrupted. She cannot be saved. How dare you use her name? Mithros' fingers tighten on Emmeline's throat. I can see the tears running down her face. Her sobbing is quiet, but it still reaches my ears in the silent room. Varg! Varg appears from the darkness, as he did before. He smiles at all of us from behind Mithros, eyes glinting mischievously. You didn't finish the job. You were awfully vague when you told me to take care of them. You know, most people would assume that meant entertaining them and offering them refreshments. Obey me! Varg turns to us. He draws the sword he used earlier, his smile fading. I think I see something like pain in his eyes, but then I think it might be my imagination. He looks stoic as he moves towards us. He's under some kind of a spell. When Waltz moves, Mithros' hands tighten over Emmeline's neck and she cries out. Chevalier is watching everything quietly. The concern in his eyes is muted by the urgency. I follow his gaze around the room, wondering what he's searching for. Myth, is it? You were injured during the Great War. I tended to you once. Stabbed in the stomach. You needed stitches for it. I feel Mithros' confusion before I see it. For just a few moments, though, his gaze is centered on Chevalier, his eyes probing him for information. No one came for you. Your teacher must have thought you were too weak, that you would die. Mithros' hands fly away from Emmeline's neck as he lunges towards Chevalier with a snarl, his expression mad. See, he's like, she didn't love you. Everybody else had someone coming looking for them, missing them. Nobody loved you. That's why we don't need love. It's because she didn't love you. Oh, poor bruised man. Spacey said that so uncaringly. We don't. He's a dick. The room breaks out into chaos then. I feel the rise of magic beside me as Waltz readies a spell, the tension in Chevalier's body as he prepares to shield me, and lastly, I see Varg zip across the room. Everything goes white. When I look up, I see Waltz standing in front of me with a shield. Mithros' hand lies flat against the shield, and I can feel the heat of his magic. Varg lies on the ground beside his fallen sword, unconscious from the impact of magic. Even Chevalier is on his knees. I rush toward the sword at the same moment Waltz pushes Mithros back to the ground. Then, sword in hand, I stand above Mithros and aim it at his neck. The blade touches his skin without sinking into it. Emmeline is hiding behind the throne, staring out at the scene with shock on her tear-stained face. Would you kill me? Mithros' smile is a mere shadow of itself. You saw the soldiers in the clinic today. You saw how close some of them were to death. Did you see the hollow look in their eyes? I've seen that look many times. It's the look of a man who clings desperately to life. Every life is precious, and a life is still a life, whether it's vile or not. It's still a responsibility you have to bear. I know how valuable lives are because I've helped so many people. In this case, he's like, do it. What? You want me to just stab him? He sucks. That desperation is in Mithros' eyes now. A man that clings to life. It would be so easy to slice his throat. Probably should. I've seen so much bloodshed on this night, and it was all caused by Mithros. If I kill him, I can stop all of it. But that would make me no better than Mother. I drop the sword. Mithros actually stops to stare at me in shock. I'm not like Mother. I'll not kill you for revenge. No sooner have I said the words than I feel a sudden heat at my chest. My hand instinctively reaches up to grab the necklace around my neck. And then there's a bright light. Oh, well, I would never have gotten my piece because I'd have been like, nah, fuck him. When the light clears, a new source of light catches my eyes. I stop to stare down at my feet, which are in glass slippers that shine so brightly they sparkle even in the dim light. But I have no time to admire the shoes or the weight that has fallen off my shoulders. I barely recognize that the fairy tale curse has been broken. Emmeline rises from behind the throne and screams, Spacey, watch out! I don't quite remember her voice, but Mithros has grabbed the sword with his hand, turned it around, and is aiming it at my chest. It hits a barrier. Parfait stands beside me once more, her face devoid of any color. I didn't see her rush in here. She takes a step forward as if to shield me. Out of my way. Mithros draws the sword back and plunges it again at the shield. This time the blade is coated with darkness. It pierces the already flimsy shield. Poor Parfait. As the blade goes through Parfait's heart, and the blade goes through Parfait's heart. Oh my god, but I was like, as the blade goes through Parfait, I was thinking through her shield, through her heart. Oh my god, no! Parfait! My hands in my mouth. I'm sorry, I'm mumbling. Parfait grabs the blade and narrows her eyes at Mithros. I'm sorry Hildir did not appreciate you. Something swells inside of me as I stare at Parfait. The sword is impaled in her, and I can see her eyes go glassy. I cannot speak, cannot breathe. Waltz rushes forward with his magic and pins Mithros forcefully to the ground. He raises his hand, but it never comes down in time. A sword strikes past his shoulder right at Mithros' neck. It was Chevalier, wasn't it? When I turn, it's Chevalier that's holding it. His body shakes as tears run down his cheeks. Mithros holds his neck as Chevalier holds up the blade and throws it behind him. Out of the corner of my eyes, I catch movement that can only be Varg, but I don't care. Lady Parfait, do not move. We can take the sword out. We can... But I see a hopelessness in Chevalier's expression, and I know that whatever wound Parfait took was lethal. I can see it in his eyes. I can see it in Parfait's. Oh my god, Parfait's gonna die! Guys, I can't handle it. That's not even cool. You know, Fritz might be dead, but like we never see him, but we didn't watch him die! She didn't...
There's no need to fuss.
When Parfait falls, Waltz grabs her and puts his hand to the hilt of the sword. Chevalier crumples beside her. He stares at the blood staining her dress with sorrow. I start to cry.
Spacey, do not regret this. I am proud of you.
The room is quiet, even with the newcomers that arrive. The knights and Karma watch the scene from the sidelines, all with grim looks on their faces. Last to arrive is Delora, who sits down beside Parfait with her lips pulled into an uptight frown. Her face is stern, but I can tell it's a mask. Parfait.
That look doesn't suit you, Delora.
I told you to stay back.
Had I not been here in time, the princess would have...
Her words fell apart as she begins to cough. Delora leans over her and shakes her head. I'm sorry I didn't come sooner.
Everything is as it should be, Delora.
Parfait cranes her neck to look up at me.
Wipe away your tears, Spacey. What you did was a good deed. You spared a man's life.
But life is not a fairy tale. Humans are good and bad.
No, it isn't. But the fear of death makes a life even more valuable. Do not worry, Princess. I chose this.
Parfait smiles. It is mystifying to see her smile when her body is slowly crumbling away in Waltz's grasp. Parfait's body is what gives out first. Her eyes go next. They remain focused on me, still smiling. Her body begins to glow as her body slowly fades away. My god, that's so sad. Parfait. Parfait! Delora turns away. Even if she's not shedding any tears, it's clear that she's heartbroken. She closes her eyes and releases a shaky sigh. Sweet dreams, my friend. Oh my god, I can't believe she died. I was really just hoping she was gonna saved at the end. I don't know how long we all stayed in that room mourning the loss of Parfait. Karma, Jurian, and Garland eventually spread out to search for any remaining danger. At some point they return with the king and the rest of the family. My reunion with my family is half-hearted. I don't know what to say to people that I hated only months ago. Despite the quiet, they all take me in with open arms. The king stays by my side long after the others have left. Karma and the knights return to the Marchen to tell the others the news. Waltz goes to search the palace for any remaining resistance. Only Delora, Chevalier, the king, and I remain. Chevalier cries. I've never seen him cry before, but his heartbreak is my own. What happened was a nightmare, but it eventually ended. Last night, Varg escaped the throne room. No one saw where he disappeared to in all of the chaos. I'm beginning to believe that his faint was a trick. Since the night had left everyone so tired, we were offered rooms in the palace. I came to my room with Chevalier, where the two of us attempted to comfort each other with words. Oh yeah, sure, with words. Words is in parentheses. Chevalier was especially shaken, being the one to kill Mithros. He was in tears for a long time. Oh, this poor thing. Life is precious. I'm going to kill you, motherfucker, because you killed Parfait. And then he's like, what did I do? But he killed Parfait, so it's kind of... It's justifiable homicide, but I can understand. Like, that doesn't make you feel any better. That just helps you. He was a murderer. I didn't kill an innocent person, but it's still fucking hard. I wouldn't know. I've never killed anyone, thank God, and I hope I never do. But, like... You know what I mean? Like, God, that'd be traumatizing. Like... Even if it was like a horrible person, even somebody who just like stabbed your family member and you have to kill them, you're like, I still killed someone. Like it's still, you shouldn't have to be in that situation. You should not have to be in the situation where some evil witch stabs your fairy friend and then you stab the evil witch and then you're like, fuck, how did we end up here? You should never be in that situation. That's why I don't have fairy friends or witch friends, because I will have to stab one of them because the other one stabbed somebody. And you know what I mean? It's just like just a mess. I'm pretty sure that I must have fallen asleep sometime when we were talking, but I'm lying in my bed underneath my covers, And though I think for a few moments that it must be a figment of my imagination, it's not. Oh, he's lying there with you. That's so cute. Chevalier is definitely lying right next to me, sleeping beneath those same covers. Aw. How did this happen? I put off the recollection of the previous day to stare at Chevalier's face. His glasses are off, and without them his face seems strangely empty. He looks vulnerable, almost like a child, except his features are too handsome for that. What am I thinking? You're thinking that you wanted to, comfort each other without words now. Words didn't work. We should try something else. Anyway, I slowly put my hand to his cheek and flinch when his eyebrows crease. Ah! I was hoping he was going to open his eyes as he's there and then smirk a little, smile a little for me. Look at his beautiful fucking plum-colored eyes. Moments later, his eyes open. They're foggy this early in the morning. What is this? Have I been woken by my princess? Usually it's the princes that wake their princesses. Yeah, but you're a doctor. Ah! I did that too loud. My neighbors are probably like, what the fuck is going on? I'm sorry. Oh my god. That's exactly what I wanted. Like when it first showed up, you're like, look, he's sweet asleep. I'm like, I need his eyes staring at me. And then when he opened him, I'm like, no, but I need that smirk. And now we got it. Oh my god. Oh! I'll always wonder how he manages to keep smiling like this. Because he loves you. Even when he's in pain, he forces a smile. He's not forcing it. I mean, he may still be in pain, but, he likes staring at you. That's lovely. But you are no prince, and I'm not some damsel princess. He's like, God damn it. Chevalier closes his eyes again and sighs. There's only one way to break the spell of sleep. I flush as his lips curl into a mischievous smile. Still, his eyes do not open. I think about what happened last night. Parfait and Mithros' death, Varg's escape, and everyone else's heartbreak. Before I have to relive the burden, I can afford to lose myself in some happiness. I lean forward to kiss his smile. I break away from Chevalier, startled. Princess? How distressing. Waltz the Big ruins everything. I quickly slip out of bed and Chevalier sits up and puts on his glasses with a yawn. Good morning, Princess. And his eyes widen when he sees Chevalier. Are you so tired that words have abandoned you, Waltz? And he's like, let me put on my magically dressed. At least he wasn't naked. He just, hey, princess, what? Oh, dear God. And you're like, look, we're dressed, okay? We obviously didn't do anything because this dress and corset shit, so it's a pain to get off. It's going to take me 3 days to get dressed. There's no way you dress quickly. If I was naked, I'm just all I'm saying. Waltz is like, this is awkward. No, I wanted to see if the princess was doing okay. If you were both all right, actually. He pauses to look at us, his eyebrows furrowed in thought. Though I can imagine just how tongue-tied you must be, you should speak if you have something to say. Wall sighs. I didn't want to bring this up so soon, but it's been on my mind the whole night. It's just... You didn't have to kill Myth. That was my job. Your job? I doubt that. Besides, I didn't want to kill him. It was a reaction. The room goes silent for a few moments as Chevalier stares down at the floor. I'm so glad Waltz was like, you didn't have to kill him. It was my job. Now, you didn't have to kill him. There were other ways, because it's like make him feel any worse. Jesus. Think he wanted to do it? Like, yeah. Unlike me, I was like, stab the motherfucker. Like, yay, someone killed him. We never would have gotten our peace. I'd still be a pauper. Never be a princess. Because I'd have been like, right through the... No, probably wouldn't. I would have been like, I'm not able to do this, even though... In theory, in games like this, you kill that motherfucker because he's going to try to do something like this very thing. I'm not going to kill you. He's going to try to stab you. He's going to kill someone, and then he's going to end up dead anyway, so you might as well just save yourselves trouble. And when people look at you, you're like, look, this is how it goes. If I spared his life, then he would have tried to kill me, someone would have gotten in the way, they'd have ended up dead, and then somebody else would have stabbed this motherfucker for doing that, and he would have ended up dead anyway. I'm just saving us the death of one of our friends. Okay? And somebody else's guilt. I'm cool with it. I've seen enough movies, read enough visual novels, read enough books. Come on. That's how it goes. It's a quintessential trope in everything, right? When you're fighting against bad guys, you spare their life, they attempt to murder you before they end up dead anyway. Never spare their lives. You're trying to be a good person, and what does it get you? Stabbed in the back. Literally. Come on. It gets your fairy spade. Stabbed. Fairy stabbed. Oh, God. Fairy spade. Yes, he spades your fairy. No, well, he fillets her. Fucking sword. Stick right in the... Whatever. I can't. Words right now. Anyway. The room goes silent for a few moments as Chevalier stares down at the floor. He told me before that lives were valuable. This is why I tried to save Mithros. But in the end, my sparing his life forced Chevalier to carry the burden of his death and killed Parfait. I'm saying. He's already told me that it's not my fault. Parfait said that what I did was a good deed, but still. Killing Mithros saved us more casualties. I hope I can convince Chevalier of that. Most likely he'll wrestle with that guilt for a long time. I turn my attention back to Waltz and will the questions to the back of my mind for the time being. Waltz, there are questions I need to ask you. About how he broke his curse, about Mother being his teacher, about Mithros. So much to ask him, I don't even know where to start. We have plenty of times for explanations now, Princess. After your birthday, Delore and I will pick up your magic education. But for now, you should rest. I'm going to guarantee you it was that mysterious box in our room, so that Waltz could be... Yeah. We unlocked it magically because he's not going to tell us. We're not going to know. We're never going to figure out what that magic box is, but it kind of fits. So, but if they told us, then it would ruin it for when we're in his path. I'll give you the full story of my apprenticeship and curse another day. But Princess Chevalier, I just thought I'd let you know that when Parfait came into this battle, she expected to die. She told all of us that while we were still sitting around trying to plot a rescue plan. She told all of us that while we were sitting around trying to plot a rescue plan. I glance at Chevalier, who nods quietly. Was it because her frailty after the Great War, or did Parfait somehow have a feeling? Oh, also, congratulations on breaking your curse, Princess. Chevalier sits up straight, his eyes narrowed behind his glasses. Waltz, I was supposed to congratulate her first. Well, you should have done that last night, while we were using our quote-unquote words to comfort each other. I know they were just using their words, but come on. Chevalier stands and kisses me promptly on the cheek. My cheeks flush and even Waltz looks embarrassed. Congratulations, my sweet. It was all very dramatic when your curse broke. There was this bright light and... Wait. Why were there no bright lights when I broke my curse? Both Waltz and I burst into laughter. Chevalier just sighs dramatically. He leans against my shoulder and I do not protest. I have a feeling that getting through the memory of last night might be easier with him here. If anyone can put a smile on my face, it is Chevalier. We hope to see you again at the Marchen soon, Princess. I will be back. After all, I have friends there. Did I speak falsely? Oh, of course not. It's the truth. Anyway, I need to get going. I've explained what happened to your father, but you should talk with him privately soon. After everything that's happened last night, speaking to the king is the last thing on my mind, but I suppose it must be done. Thank you, Waltz. And you, Chevalier, might want to ask for a guest room. But no bed is as comfy as the princess's. I nudge him without realizing it, but Chevalier just laughs. We promise Waltz that we'll see him and everyone else in the Marchen soon. Afterwards, Waltz hurries out and shuts the door. My eyes go to the edge of my bed where something shiny catches my eyes. Man, you're sleeping on the glass slippers? That's gotta be uncomfortable. The glass slippers are a reminder of everything that happened yesterday. Of the fact that life goes beyond just black and white. Good and evil are subjective. In the end, life is gray, Mother. Both good and bad. But even so, even though fairy tale endings cannot exist, I still want to live my life with everyone else. Mithros centered his life around a single person. He was selfish. I'll become someone better than him. Thinking about Mithros makes me remember something. Chevalier, yesterday you said you took care of Mithros during the Great War. That no one came for him. Was that true? I don't know, Spacey. He acted like it was, though, wasn't it? So you never knew Mithros? No, I didn't know him at all. I don't know if I would have been able to strike him down if I did. I don't know what burden he carried, but it seemed heavy. I only guessed at what I could say to distract him. I heard rumors of a strong witch that went abandoned for many years. That may have been him. It may not have been. So deception exists in everyone, but it's not entirely what Mother said it was. Oh, okay, no, it's fine. It's just I clicked it and it clicked fast. My birthday is tomorrow. I sit in the throne room speaking to my father, who has listened to my tale with patience. When it's over, he looks at me sadly. I owe you an apology, Spacey. This whole time you've been on your own. I couldn't do a thing for you. You can now, starting first by explaining what happened between you and Mother. You knew she was a witch. I did. You did too, before she forcefully erased your memories. I tried reaching out to you many times when you were a child, but my efforts were met with resistance. Still, I cannot excuse myself for what I have done. I truly abandoned you, and I am sorry for that, Spacey. I'll explain the story to you if you give me time. For now, I would very much like to mend my bond with you. To be honest, the king still angers me. He only apologizes now after all of this has come to light. Whether or not I was difficult to speak to, he still had an obligation to seek me out. He he is still late to care, but he is still my father, and I can forgive him. I can learn to trust him again. It will take time, but I would like to mend our bond. I would also like to try speaking with Emmeline, Rod, and Ophelia, but that will take time. The king smiles at me. It's one of the first honest smiles I've seen from him in years. We have time, all of the time in the world, and we'll mend our family bond, I promise. As I turn to leave the room, the king calls out to me, Spacey, I am proud of you. More proud than any other father in the realm could ever be of his child. This is the longest last chapter ever. I'm okay with it, but Jesus. After what happened, we searched for Fritz, but he's vanished. Mithras and Varg had said that they'd replaced him, but they never said anything about what had happened to him. We searched endlessly, but to no avail. All I can hope is that he's safe and that I'll reunite with him again in the future, which we will in the not next part, maybe, because I don't know, this part could go longer than 6 parts, but in the next half, that's what we're doing.
Oh, Waltz's performance today was amazing! Don't you agree, Mr. Chevalier?
I agree. You ladies looked especially charmed with so many lilies floating around you.
Oh my!
He always speaks like that. Don't mind him. It's been a whole month since the events at the palace. My birthday is come and gone. Now my life begins. I've been practicing magic with Waltz and Delora, attempting to bond with my family and visiting the Marchen when time allows me to. Anise was overjoyed to see me visiting often. Since Chevalier operates from there as a doctor, I visit often. Mostly, though, he clings to me like a leech. Oftentimes I find him in my bed when I could have sworn he was sleeping in another room for the night. So she's like, So, Dad, this is my boyfriend. He's a poor doctor. He lives at the Marchen. He's going to be visiting us every once in a while. There's his guest room. And why is he in my bed? My dad's going to kill you. Sometimes at night he has nightmares of blood on his hands and of Mithras's death. And at those times I'm glad to be sitting right beside him so I can promise him that things are all right. As for the fairy tale curse, I have no idea how Spacey puts up with you. Rod's voice comes out from between his lips. Now he can actually speak. Since the fairy tale curse was tied to Mother's still living soul in the crystal, her disappearance and my taking her place immediately caused the root to vanish. I've been working for days to break everyone's fairy tale curse with magic, and when I'm done, no one in the kingdom will have to suffer from it ever again. And now the Marchen is not just a place reserved for the curse. Now it's open to the public. Spacey enjoys it, though. She finds my poetic weavings to be the best in the kingdom. What he means to say is I can only put up with them because of our relationship.
Loving someone so much you can put up with their nonsensical poetry.
I thought you were the nice ones, Princess Emmeline. I thought you were the nice one, Princess Emmeline. No, she has a point. Emmeline focuses her attention on a musician standing off in the distance. She points excitedly, then rushes after them, pulling her brother with her. Her guards follow. Ever since the incident at the palace, we've had more security. I don't blame the king, though it can be tiring at times. Luckily, he's more lax with me. When I told him Chevalier was going to be with me, he settled with having Emmeline and I share guards. And so I get to be alone with Chevalier often. Father was wary of him at first until he found out he was a renowned doctor. Now he and Chevalier get on well enough. Chevalier takes a step closer to me, and I place my hands around his arm. Aww, that's so cute. I'm wondering if they get longer as you go, because, like, this was the recommended route order, but you could have done Rod, Karma, or Rumple in any order. but it was the recommended in this order. I wonder if that's because his is a little bit longer. I am no prince, nor am I a knight in shining armor. I'm just a doctor. A doctor who has been blessed with the most beautiful woman in this world. Chevalier begins to lead me through the town again. He is one of the only constants in my ever-changing life. He is the one that will always make me smile, and we share a burden, the burden of a friend's death. He's more burdened with nightmares than I am, and while I wish I could do more to help, I can at least listen to him, just like he listens to me. No matter the burden, it can be overcome. Spacey, yes? I love you. More than anything in this world. I love you too. We share one kiss, ignoring the spectators in the town with a shared smile. Then we follow after Emmeline. The end. We can't listen to the music. I had to take the music off because even the background music in the game, because you've noticed this whole time, they're like, there's no background music. But every single bit of the background music is like copyrighted, which is just, it's not, I mean, it's fine because it's just, but it's just like one of those things that I don't want to take risks that all of a sudden it's like, well, now you can't, because this one had a piece of music that wasn't in something else and now it's blocked. Like, now I'm like paranoid ever since fucking Bad Apple Wars where everything was fucking blocked. But yeah, so I turned the music off because it was getting a little, like, it freaks me out a little bit. Like, I mean, I understand that, like, with the theme songs and the end titles, you're like, okay, I understand those are probably, like, copyrighted, and then you just can't, like, monetize your videos, but you can still put them up, and you're like, that's cool, I'm fine with that. But even the background music during the game, it's never been copyrighted before, and it is in this game, which is really weird. So you're like, okay, we'll just mute it, because it makes me a little anxious that every single part is copyrighted, and, like, and it's like, it makes me nervous. I don't like, you know, seeing that every time because I'm really wary of the one time where it's like, no, you can't do anything. You know, you can't put this up. We're going to block it. So, like, it's really just, I don't trust YouTube. Like, I really don't. Like most of the time they're fine and they're like, nah, it's fine. You just can't, like, monetize. And you're like, I'm fine with that. Like, whatever. But then you have those other times where all of a sudden it's like, but you know what? None of your videos can be monetized. So screw you. Thanks, Verizon. I don't need a text to tell me that you're gonna, like, my friggin' phone bill. Like, this is how much you owe on your phone bill. That's great. Why is it acting like I still have a text? I don't have a text. I read it already. Go away. I hate that. I hate notifications on my phone. It's gonna kill me. I hate it when they're like, it's like a little flag note, like, oh, you have 6 email, or this is flag. I hate it. I hate seeing those little bubbles. Oh my God. It drives me bonkers. I don't know what it is. So it really annoys me when I go in and I delete my emails and then you go back out and it still says you have like 5 emails and you're like, no, I don't. Go away. Anyway, there it goes. It finally went away. It will literally irritate me for like hours. I'll be like, ah. Okay, so hold on. Let me go over here. This is going to suck. Oh, fuck. Ooh, shit. I should have, oh, damn it. I should have saved it after we chose Rumple, and I didn't. So we're going to have to start here. Frick. Hold on. Oh, shit. What did I say? We went left every time, right? Because we met Karma every time. Right is Waltz, and we don't want to do that. Okay. I should have saved... I don't know why I didn't think of this, but I should have saved after we chose Rumple, because it doesn't really matter the choices in the very beginning. So even this one, throwing the tray at him or whatever, that's not that big of a deal if we choose everything else right. So what we could have done, that one doesn't matter. That choice doesn't matter. But I should have saved there, like in the beginning of chapter 3, when you choose his route. That's what I should have done. Throw the tray at him, skip. Okay, so while that's skipping, we choose Rumple, and then we go into chapter 3. So this is going to take a while, but just in case there's anything different when we're choosing the opposite. Oh, fuck, I did the wrong thing. I threw the tray and we weren't supposed to. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We've already done the other opposite, and it's one decent thing that we did. Because this part doesn't really necessarily matter, but like after we choose his route, that's where we should save. Because that's where the choices really matter in chapter 3, technically. So then we wouldn't have to skip through this and waste like 5 minutes. We walk toward him. Okay. He's just going to insist I come back. If there's one thing I've learned about Rumple, it's that he's persistent. Why do you look so surprised? I'd assumed you would just walk away like you always do. But I can take this as a good sign, yes? You really did want to see me, Princess. The silent treatment only makes this all the more mysterious, Princess. And the mysterious is always exciting. What is he rambling on about now? Okay. It's only slightly different. You know, there's like a couple of lines difference, but so that's all we're going to do is skip through this. But the sad thing is we might have to do another part because I don't know if we can get this done in 15 minutes. Pull my hand away. He has such a strange look on his face. Slowly I try to pull my hand away, but Rumple holds tightly to it. The sadness in his eyes becomes intense anxiety, and I see something like fear dancing in his eyes. You really think it was my fault? What? Sir? Rumple squeezes my hand a little too tightly. He looks at me desperately. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Let me go. I finally manage to pry my hand free. Rumple looks at me for a few moments, almost bewildered. Then his eyes suddenly widen. He looks back at the journal, then at me. Oh, I think I blanked out. I'm sorry, Princess. Boop. Accept the gift. I'm not used to receiving gifts out of the blue. What a shame. I would give you so many gifts if I could, Princess. Why? Because people are moved by gifts when they come from the heart. I shall take the. I was reading that in his voice. I take the small bag from Rumple's hand and look at it for a few moments. Nope. Pause. I don't want it to like. La la la. He's trying to teach us, and we do not flirt. Ma'am? My face is hot, but not with embarrassment. The more I think about Rumple's proposal, the more irritated I become. It's nothing. His eyebrows fall a little bit as I frown at him. I never smile when I serve food, and everyone knows that. Perhaps for a few moments this man was hopeful. Hopeful for what exactly? Thank you for the food. Can't believe that Rumple wanted me to flirt with a man I don't even know. Just the thought of it makes me annoyed. I turn and stride away, my feet thumping too heavily on the floor. Boop. Remain silent. It's not her fault that the doll was was in the shape that it was. I fired her prematurely, even if she didn't give me the entire story. But she could be lying to me. She says she didn't bring it up before because she was ashamed, but it's far more likely that she's just making up excuses for her incompetence. But then, what reason should she have for telling me now? My heart plummets to the pit of my stomach and I suddenly feel dizzy and irritated. Oops. Sorry. Oh, what? Wait, what? Hold on. I don't understand why, but I feel terrible after hearing the truth from Anise. Should I have forgiven her? No, she deserved to be fired for not being as competent as she needed to be. Interesting. Ask him if he meant it. Do you really mean that compliment? Of course I did. I told you, right? Making a person happy is a good deed. I wanted to show you that. Rumple's compliments do make people happy, even if I do find his words to be very shallow. But that felt different. Flattery is wonderful, but it usually only concerns complimenting a woman's physical appearance. Though I do that really well, don't I? She's like, oh my god. She's like, Jesus Christ, Rumple. We are supposed to keep walking. It is picturesque, isn't it, Princess? It is, but this still doesn't lead back to the Marchen. No, but I figured taking this detour is safer. If someone is watching you, they're less likely to follow us straight to the Marchen. Safer, but it's just the two of us. I have faith that I would be able to protect you, Princess. Also, the forest is a maze in and of itself. I suddenly stop and let my hand fall away from his as I stare up at him. I wasn't expecting that level of cleverness from Rumple. Rumple looks proud of himself. Boop. Oh. Go back to my room. I shouldn't bother him. What was that, Princess? It's nothing. If you don't want to bother Rumple, you can always spend some time down here with me. I could give you some advice about your good deeds, too. You? I stare at him. Karma puts a hand over his chest and sighs dramatically. I'm offended, Princess. Out of the corner of my eye, I notice Delora looking expectantly at Karma. He notices her and then sighs out dramatically. If I had more time, I would give you advice. Karma walks off and I consider his words. Then after a few moments, I shake the words from my mind and start walking. I'm heading up to my room. As I'm heading up to my room, I hesitate, knowing Rumple's door is close by. Earlier, he looked so stressed. I think I should go see him. This is their fight. I have no reason to jump in to defend anyone. I watch their fight from the middle of the staircase. The two of them never seem to notice me standing there. I have never lied to the princess. Sometimes people might assume different intentions of my flattery, but I never lie. That's exactly what a liar would say to defend himself when he knows that he's been caught. Liar? The only liar here is you. Excuse me? I'll have you know that I never lie. Then what's this about Miss Karma? One moment you say it's a disguise. The next moment you say... Rumple flinches back as Karma stands taller and clenches his hands into fists. Oh, damn. I begin to make my way down the staircase. I come to a stop in between the two men, who seem surprised to see me. I'm about to speak, but the sound of footsteps distracts me. This is the truth. There's nothing I can do about it. Don't worry, dear. I can help fill in the gaps for him. And his journals are at our house. You've probably already helped him by simply being there for him this entire time. Tell me, what do you go by now? Until we figure out your name, I need something to call you. Rumple. He looks so dejected, so sad. His eyes flit to me briefly, then back to Bria. He smiles, but I know Rumple enough that I can tell it's a forced smile. And my partner, Spacey, she has helped me. Interrupt. I step out from behind the fountain and slowly make my way over to the table. Bria looks up and around. After a few moments, her eyes fall on me. She immediately scowls. What are you doing here? I came to see if you were lying to Rumple. What? All right, that wasn't much different. We were supposed to talk to him. I rub up my eyes as Rumple looks at me with a quiet smile. He could be talking about his own problems, but instead he's trying to comfort me. Parfait and Delora told me about something they were keeping hidden from me. They told me something about Mother. And it doesn't make any sense to me, because everything that they are saying makes her a villain. Even villains are often misunderstood, or have trying circumstances. Okay. Normal. My body is so weak anyway. Even if I wanted to struggle, I wouldn't be able to. I slowly lean my head against his chest. Princess, you concede that you need help. No. Still so stubborn. There is indistinctive murmuring behind him that probably belongs to the girls. Rumple responds to them in a low voice. Stubborn she may be, but my sweet princess is stronger than any other woman I've ever known. Yeah, I'm not really, We'll probably get to the end thing. We're not going to be able to go through the end chapter, so we're going to have to do another part. Fascinating. Sorry, I'm just fixing my little note that we're ending here. We are supposed to look at him. We're doing the opposite. Does he ever truly mean his compliments? I know he spoke about meaning everything that he says, but I continue to stare at him. I don't look away even once, though I do feel a slight shudder run through me when Rumple keeps my gaze. Fierce as always. He removes his finger but doesn't step back. We're still so close I can feel his breath. Fierce? You, never backing down from anything. Always resisting, always putting up a wall. That's what I... His words falter, and then he simply stops what he was saying. He looks at me again. Yeah, that's what I love about you. Oh. Delora just complimented me? Did Delora just compliment me? I feel surprisingly light. Rumple was right. A genuine compliment does make me feel good, but does she truly mean it? Still no thank you, huh? Well, we'll have to work on that.
Delora!
What?
You always ruin the mood, don't you?
Is it so wrong to get my hopes up when all I want is for the princess to thank me once?
You did curse her. Not many fairy tale curse victims thank the casters.
Touche. Touche. Knowing everyone, if I tried to leave the Marchen, they would get riled up again. I've already had Delora come in so many times to make sure I'm still here. I sit up on my bed and stare at the bag of journals beside my bedside table. And here I was looking forward to giving these journals to him. I'm still here, Delora. Rumple stands in the doorway. I stare at the bouquet he has in his hand, wondering where he got it and what it might be for. Ah, there she is. The wonderful Princess Spacey. I was worried you had come and gone with the wind again, free spirit that you are. I stand as he steps into the room. And now we're supposed to be like, you love me? I do. I love you. But Chevalier smiles at me as he puts his other hand on my... Okay, so we already read that. Okay, so it's different. We're supposed to ask all the questions, so we're going to skip through all this shit. We're going to get to where the, boop. Skip. Are we supposed to... Wait. I have no more questions. Perfect. Is there anything I can do to help? I'm not sure if I'm capable of helping. I can't use a sword, and I can't use magic, which are not. In this position, Princess, you're not safe. If Myth got a hold of you, too... I feel Chevalier's fingers on my wrist. They tense as he looks at me somberly. Princess, it's not safe. Even the king himself was overtaken. I can't help, but I can help so long as we have the element of surprise. Whether or not you want to help, Princess, you really can't. Oh, we already read that. Okay, so fine. I just want to but we're going to have to wrap this part up before we get to the abdomen. There are many organs in the abdomen, right? And there are no ribs blocking the way. A good guess, but his eyebrows furrow. A person can still survive that kind of wound. You're actually likely to die faster if they stab you through the liver or some other major vein or artery. Still, what you're suggesting would allow people to live for a long while without treatment. Most would probably die from either infection or blood loss. The place you'd actually want to stab or slice is a part of the neck. Go quietly. I stare at him resolutely, but my heart is sinking, and any hope I'm holding on to is quickly sinking with it. There's nothing I can do in this situation. He could easily muffle my words and maybe even gag me. If I'm not careful, he might even kill me, and I can't die here. Nothing? I thought you'd at least try resisting a little. But if you're not going to act first, then I will. Okay. La 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 la. Okay, so I think what we're going to do is when we get to the next choice, I'm going to end so that we can start. I want to start when we get to the bad ending with the little chapter card, and I don't want to skip through it by accident. But we're going to have to, yeah. So I'm going to wrap this part up here. We're definitely not, obviously, finishing it in this part, and we will finish it in the next part. It'll probably be, again, a short part, because it might only be like a half hour. Watch that chapter will be like 10 minutes. If it is, I'll just edit them together, but anyway. So... we're making our last choice because I didn't want to skip through. I want to be able to see the title card for the last chapter. So, anyway. This is my chance to prove to them that I am the princess. The king never believed me before, but here I can convince him. I'm indeed the crown princess, Spacey Riella Britain. Told you before, your majesty, but I was cursed and you didn't believe me. Now no one remembers who I am. I would remember my own daughter. I flinch. A pained look comes onto the king's face as he stares at me. Mithras is smiling slyly at the end of the table, looking pleased by the further confusion I've caused. Is his purpose only to confuse everyone further? What kind of mind game is he playing? Okay. All right, so now we're gonna get to all of this fun stuff, blah 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 blah, blah and everybody fights, and then we'll get to the good ending, like the good ending, the bad ending. Unraveled, is that what it says? Okay. It's hard to read with the fancy writing. Okay, so here we go, bad ending. Chevalier, snap out of it! Ah, just look at all of these men you cannot save. All of these men dying before your eyes. I think it's gonna be very similar, but Chevalier, we have to get away from here. How many people have you really saved? In the grand scheme of things, you have no talent. That's why you sought help from a witch. Mithras' voice is oddly calm, and I can feel some sort of presence in the air that's different from normal. A knight plunges a sword through another's gut, causing him to lose his sword. The sword skitters across the floor, gleaming underneath the moonlight. I look desperately at Chevalier and realize that the magic is already working its way into him. He doesn't see anyone except for Mithros, who is still smiling at him from behind all of the knights. I slowly inch backwards, making a show of looking at Chevalier. Neither Mithros nor Chevalier seem to see me. I'll protect you, Chevalier. I'll do whatever it takes, even if I have to kill someone. I pluck the sword from the ground and grasp it at the hilt. It feels heavy in my hand, but I ignore the weight, and then we kill Mithros, and then we're done, and then that's it, and this will be like, are you serious? I rush down the hallway with the sword, weaving my way to the side so that I'm out of the way of the knights fighting each other. I look squarely at Mithros, and then suddenly Chevalier's eyes flicker to me, only momentarily, but enough for me to know that he's no longer looking at Mithros in a daze. I turn back and see Chevalier rubbing his hand across his eyes. Mithras snaps his fingers, and two of the fighting knights turn and rush towards me. The knights manage to back me into a corner of the wall. I hold the blade out as they bear down on me and close my eyes. My hands shake on the hilt, but I stand resolute, ready for the blow. But it doesn't come. Moments before the knights raise their swords, I'm aware of breath on my cheek and a beautiful violet eye staring into my own. Oh God, they killed him. Spacey. Oh no. But the words end up in a gasp as a blade is buried deep into Chevalier's chest. No. His words fade as his hands slide down on either side of me. He slumps and his head falls to my shoulder. No! A raw sound escapes my throat as I feel the warmth leave Chevalier's body. Chevalier! Seems so weird calling him that. I want to call him Rumple, because that's his fucking name. That's what we've always called him. I scream his name and he looks up, but his eyes don't see me. They're somewhere far away. Mithras pulls Chevalier's body down to the ground, where it falls with a terrible thud. Inconsequential. I'm deaf to Mithras' words. I slump down beside Chevalier, my hands reaching for his. His eyes are still open, but the light in them is gone. No. Tears stream down my face. I cannot breathe. I cannot hear my heart. Everything is quiet and dark. His death was so much faster than when we stabbed fucking Karma. Chevalier! I can't scream his name. I'm gonna cry. This is sadder. We know it's okay. We know he's alive in the good ending, so it's fine, but it's still sad. Parfait not, though. Oh my God. Now that the obstacle is gone, you have nothing left, princess. Mithras' hand reaches for me. I attempt to lift the sword, but he knocks it easily out of my hands. Are you truly the queen's daughter? The queen never cried. She was the strongest woman I knew. I cannot breathe and can't stifle the sobs escaping my throat. She taught me that sentimentality was nothing to value, that it would only make you weak. I assumed you knew that too, princess. But I was wrong. It'll be a good thing when the queen is back on the throne. The weak do not win. He snaps his finger and the witches congregate around me. Now she'll use you to bait the fairy, and then everyone else will fall. I'll unravel this effort at its heart. He nudges Chevalier's body. I look down at Chevalier's ashen face and sob. I let the tears gather in my eyes until I can't see anything. Nothing matters anymore. Jesus. That's so sad. Spool of needles. No. So yeah, I'm absolutely gonna edit this part together with the. Oh, I love it. Oh, I'm absolutely gonna obviously by the time you see this, it'll be all like together. But I was really gonna split this part, but there's no way. This is like a 6-minute part, so anyway, we'll flip through our things. Oh, it's when he's first looking at his thing. Oh, why does it do that? Is there a way to tab them? Or do we have to just keep? Damn it, that's annoying. I don't like that. That's when he gives us the chocolate. It's so cute. Oh. Lecturing us in the woods. She's like, I don't know if I want to listen to this. Aw. It does, at least when you click, it changes. That one's amazing. I love that one. Oh. It's okay. Don't be sad, Rumple. We're laughing because he's old. I love it. Oh, that one's sweet too. He's carrying her like a doll because she's so little. He's like, it's okay. I'm an old man of 24. Oh. Oh, I didn't realize here that these were the girls' heads. I didn't even realize that. He's like, listen, don't be bitches. My precious Spacey. Yeah. It came out of nowhere. I mean, you knew it was going to happen, but then the CG popped up. Oh! Oh. Ooh, we get to do Fritz's path next. And we get to find out this poor guy. Oh my god, this is so devastating. No! We can't look at that one for long. No, look at her face. Oh god, don't do it. I love this. And then it was like this. And I was like this. And it's like, I love it. I love it. It's so great. Look at those fucking eyes. Beautiful. Oh, our happy ending. Oh. Oh. This is probably the best one though. So we're gonna end it on this one. So yeah, so I'll be editing this part with the last one. So yeah, anyway. Because it's only 10 minutes, and then that one was a little under an hour. So all right, whatever. But anyway. So yeah. I'll wrap this part up here. When we come back in the next part, we will be on Fritz's route. So we have 2 more routes left. That'll take us to the end of the month. So starting in October, we'll have a new game. I don't know what we're going to do yet. Because I know it's either depending on when Seven Scarlet ends, and this ends obviously at the end of the month. Life is Strange 2 comes out September 27th, so I do want to play that when it comes out. So that'll either take the place of this or Seven Scarlet if Seven Scarlet's going longer. So whichever one of those ends first. And then what we'll probably do is just play one of the other top-rated games that in the options. I think I'm going to draw the name out of a hat between the ones that people voted for, or we'll see what happens. Instead of doing another poll video just because we're getting close and whatever. I know it was Life is Strange 2, and then I feel like there was something else that was coming out around the same time, and then I was like, oh, well, we don't have I don't remember what it was, but I know Life is Strange 2 is coming out at the end of the month. I know To the Edge of the Sky also has a new chapter out, but I'm really wary of playing it just because not all of the character sprites and CGs are updated with the new artwork, and I think I want to hold off playing until they are done with that, and then we can start from the beginning again. But I'm going to be honest with you, the ones that they have updated are fucking amazing. Oh my god. Dude, you thought some of these boys were pretty before. They are fucking gorgeous. So I'm not sure when we'll get back to playing that. I know it's out, but I don't think I want to play it just yet. I want to wait because some of them aren't updated or in the game yet, and I really just don't want to go and just see here's the sprite with a covered face and you can't see what they look like. I want to just I don't know. I haven't figured out what I want to do yet, so I'm trying to hold off playing until they get the other updated sprites in. So it might be a little while. I might cave. Who knows? Who knows? I hear we get a nice like little conversation with 4 in this one, so it could be worth playing. I don't know. Nobody spoil it for me. But anyway, when we come back in the next part, we will be on Fritz's route, and so yeah. I hope you enjoyed this. I do love Rumple. Aww. I think Karma's still my favorite. Karma and Rumple are up there. They're tied. They're really tied. I love them both. But anyway, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.